The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there any sort of listing for restrictive content found within the game. From what I have seen so far, it does contain some cartoonic and fantasy violence, as well as some explosions, but I've not seen blood nor any sort of specific death animations, although I will admit I haven't gotten all that far into the game as yet. So if I were to guess as to what its ESRB rating would have been, I would guess E10+. That means anyone under the age of 10 should not be watching this video. Although, as always, it is a guess and viewer discretion is always advised. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations, I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is of course my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we are going to be playing a game called Space Crew. Well, of course you don't know what this game is. This is actually the first time we've played it. Well, I should say the first time I've made a video playing it. I have played a little bit of this game just to see how it basically operates, to make certain, at least in the initial aspects of it, there was nothing inappropriate that shouldn't be put in a video. So the game is made by the same people who made Bomber Crew, and I already have an episode of that if you're curious as to what Bomber Crew is. But the game generally plays roughly the same. You're in charge of a combat vessel, and you have to manage and organize your crew to man all the stations to defend the vessel and complete the mission. And much like their prior game, you never have enough people for every job all at once. So you have to make certain that certain people can do certain kinds of tasks and that certain things overlap. Main difference between Space Crew and its predecessor game is that while Bomber Crew was set in a World War II-esque combat scenario, Space Crew takes place in the future, and you command a spaceship as opposed to a bomber. As for particulars, we'll see how it goes in the video. This game is of course made by Thank you again. That being said, let us begin.
Alright, so Athena Station, Low Earth Orbit, 2159. UDF embarks on a campaign to prevent the impending Phasmid invasion. Welcome to Athena Station. We have a mission that needs your immediate attention. It appears the module in the comms array by the moon is malfunctioning. We're not expecting any complications. This will serve as a perfect opportunity to overcome some basic training. We need you to go and retrieve the module, repair it on your ship, and deposit it back on the comms array. This is Wing Commander Lara Winters, our boss, I guess. So kind of them to wait for me to read everything. So this is the ship. I don't quite know what its name is. Apparently it's called the Unstoppable. We will be changing that as soon as I can. And this is the crew. We currently have, well, captain. So we currently have, it won't actually tell me who these people are, but apparently someone by the name of Pop is captain. Flores is our comm officer. Leon is the engineer. Then we have, I can't even pronounce that, Jaya Wira that's what I'm going to be calling him from now on. Or Jay, just because I can't pronounce that, is our security officer. Sep is the starboard gunner. And then I thought Jawira was hard to pronounce. I'm not even certain that's actually pronounceable in human talk. Yildiz is the aft gunner. So, mission calls for us to launch, so we were going to be launching. Here we go. Deselect your captain by right click. Alright, so we can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel or the up and down arrows. While zoomed out, hold the right mouse button and rotate. Click the mouse wheel or press the space bar to toggle tagging mode. This is a mechanic similar to Bomber Crew. And while in tagging mode, aim the camera using the mouse at the jump gate, Earth to the moon, to tag it. So basically, you want your crew to actually do anything, travel to certain spots, shoot anything down, you have to tag it first. When you tag a waypoint, for example the jump gate, your captain will pilot towards it. I'm assuming that's what it says. Depending upon the type of waypoint, your ship will orbit or align with it. Press tab to enter fast forward mode. You can only use fast forward when there are no enemies around. This supposedly makes everything faster. And it looks like it's moving faster. Alright, press tab again to exit fast forward mode. Select your captain by clicking directly on them or their panel. When you're orbiting a tagged jump gate, you can charge for hyperdrive. Press charge on captain's panel and start charging.
Yes, I'm going to read all of these. It's not like I have much else to talk about. It's a tutorial after all.
And engage. Didn't read that one, but basically when your hyperdrive is charged, you're able to actually do a hyper jump, but all your ship power gets diverted to engines. Looks like we've got some uninvited guests. Our scanners are picking up incoming Phasmid activity at your location. We're uncertain how many are on their way, so make sure all your weapons stations are manned. Basic click on the engineer and have him get on the port gun. And select the security officer and have him get on the bow gun. And then we move the mouse wheel out so we can actually look around. And then we start tagging things. Okay, someone clearly needs to aim better. We're shooting off in this direction and the fighter's over here. It's one down. Coming fire. It's two down. Of course, now we're turned so that way more than one gun can start shooting. We take three out, I only see three enemy fighters now. That's 4. 5. Wait, now that's 6. Good work, that looks like the last of them. Repair the probe and return to base. Tag the communications array to align with it. I'm assuming we did that. Select their engineer by clicking directly on them or their panel, and move the engineer to the tractor beam station. Alright, so now we gotta wait for alignment. And then we retrieve the broken communications array. And then send the engineer to repair it. And move them back to the tractor beam to, well, put it back in the comm array. And back in it goes. And then return to Athena Station by going back to the jump gate. Let's get... So that's the comm array, so we want the jump gate. Get back on the gun just in case. Alright, and we're once again ready to charge the hyperdrive. And then we engage. And here we are. So all we got left to do is to tag Athena Station to dock. I'm guessing we did that. Now you would think, given the size of the bay, we would actually have to back it in. But no, I guess there is enough to actually turn around in here. Alright, so the communications array has been repaired. We get 1,000 coin and 5,000, 500 of these little box things, which are research. And the Unstoppable has returned. Okay, so the actual crew's name is, the captain is Tindra Pop. That's her right there. The comms officer is Rihanna Flores, who is currently behind all of this, as well as the engineer Miguel Leon. And then we have Petro, so I think that's Petro, Jay Weira, who is the security officer. Then we have Neil Sepp, which was who was one of the gunners. And then we have Maisie Yildiz. Okay then. Who is the other gunner? Almost forgot to say that. Alright, so now since this is the first one, we have two places we can go. The mess hall, which is where we read about up the news, and we can also adjust the difficulty. But we can't adjust crew size till end of next mission. And we can select a new mission. So since that's really the only option, that's what we're going to do. So this is mission briefing room. Select a mission for your crew. I wonder if they actually said anything about the mess hall. I wasn't paying attention. It'll probably be too late to see that. Oh well. It was basically everything that I just said. So enemy forces at Phoebos. So enemy forces amassing at Phoebos must be taken care of. Wipe them all out. And much like in Bomber Crew, there are special aces, or, well, champions as they're called here, that we can collect bounties on for extra coin, but since this is still technically training, that's not an option.
Well, the pause was there because they're basically sending what is effectively a bunch of recruits out into actual combat. That's not something you actually want to do on a regular basis.
Anyway, begin mission. So this is a real combat mission. There's still a few features of your ship that we will need to try out. At some points during this mission, some control of your ship and crew will be locked for training purposes. Yeah, I mean, if you want to send people out into actual combat where they could be taken care, where they could be killed or worse.
Exactly.
You don't want to hobble them. So as usual, we zoom out and tag the jump gate. Okay, before you hyper jump, let's run through how your ship's reactor works. Click on Leon here. So this is the engineer station panel. From here you can modify reactor output and the ship's different systems. Shields, weapons, engines, and the gravity generator. While charging for hyper jump, 4 units of power will be diverted and locked to the engines. Until this is upgraded, the reactor only has 4 units of power. So currently all your reactor power is being used to charge for hyper jump. Notice your energy weapons are showing that they do not have any power to operate. And only the bow and aft guns are showing that because they are Phasmid based, whereas the port and starboard guns are, well, kinetic based, they're autocannons. The gravity generator and shield recharger are also without power. As you complete the hyper jump, reactor output will be returned to the previous set balance, and everything will be operational again. Select your captain and select engage. Alright, so select the engineer and quit by clicking on them directly. Try removing unit power from the gravity generator. Notice that your gravity generator is indicating that it's not got enough power to operate. Yes, I see that. What would you like me to do about that? Try adding a unit of power to your weapons. Energy weapons, for example plasma cannons, require power in order to operate. They are more effective with more power. Non-energy weapons, basically autocannons, do not require any power. Secure your security officer by clicking directly on them or on their panel. Move security officers to the left weapon station by left-clicking on it. Notice how your security officer has difficulty moving around the ship with the gravity generator unpowered. So they're basically in free fall, even though they're not actually in orbit. Enemies incoming. Full shield, full ship and crew control has been returned to you. Set reactor power to your preference and move your crew to weapon stations as required. Alright, so what we're going to do is turn on the gravity. You go here. You go here. Then we start tagging. I think they took out a couple of them. I wasn't actually paying attention. There's another one down. And another one. And another one. And there goes the last one. And then we just we'll navigate towards Phoebus. Should probably wait until the shields are fully charged. Should also point out that the shields aren't fore, aft, port, and starboard. It's forward, back, up, and down. So it's basically for the bow shield, the dorsal shield, aft shield, and ventral shield. Let's recharge the hyperdrive. And we move on to the objective. So this is kind of one thing I like over Bomber Crew. The missions in Bomber Crew, at least in my opinion, were rather short. It was basically go to someplace, do something, and then get back because you're going to run out of gas in like less than 30 seconds afterwards. Whereas here, you have multiple locations you can and possibly could go to, and just to get to your objective and back. The objective right now is just basically take out everybody. And that's 2 of them. That's 3. We're losing the aft shield. That's 4. Aft shield is down. 5. And 6. Alright, so we got more incoming. It's like 5 fighters. Like ventral shielding is running low, but everybody's on dorsal right now, so shouldn't be as much of a problem. Of course, now somebody's just sitting right on our starboard side, and aft, for that matter. Losing both dorsal and aft shielding. Although the guys with the big guns are now dead. 1 fighter down. Another fighter down, and the 3rd fighter down. Last fighter is down. Of this wave, anyway. Alright, so mission is complete, and then we have to navigate back to Athena Station, which means we go back to Mars. Recharge for the hyper jump, engage the hyper jump, or hyper drive, I guess it is. And then we tag the next gate back to Athena. Before we return to Athena, we'll explain a little more about your captain's piloting modes. Captain's Penny can select the current piloting mode. So we're expecting trouble. So shields are now fully charged. Currently, as a jump gate waypoint has been tagged, you can see the waypoint lock was highlighted. Let's try canceling this waypoint. Okay, so now what do I do? Notice how the jump gate is untagged. Tagging again, switch back to follow the waypoint to continue the return journey. So, while you can't directly control the vessel, you can tell your captain how you want the vessel piloted, I guess. Just tab to fast forward. Recharge again. And then we jump. And we tag Athena, and then we re-land. Enemy forces cleared. Gain another 1,000 credits, another 500 research. The ship is returned. Then everybody goes up to level 2, so the captain learns the ability to for attacking and defensive piloting. The engineer, the engineer has learned how to boost the reactor. The comms officer doesn't really learn anything new right now. Security officer can replenish shields, and then the gunners can focus their fire. And this is basically a breakdown of everything that I just said, just in slightly more detail. We also get some extra stuff to play with, so we get the Light Armored Suit Mark 1, which is a very basic armored suit. Basically, it provides them extra armor, so if shots manage to get through the shields and hull and they take hits, they don't die as quickly. Same with the helmet, and then we also have armored boots, which gives them extra armor but slows them down a little bit. And then light gloves. Oh look, the Unstoppable completes their training. So if we select adjust difficulty, well, I'm just going to tweak something real quick. I'm not really a fan of not having enough people to man all the guns at once. So what we're going to do is increase the crew size, which allows me to recruit one extra weapons officer, who should technically be manning the port gun. So if we go over to recruitment, so this is a recruitment room. New recruits will come here to fill your crew. So these are the options that we have. We have Ronja Roberts, Aoi Lopez. I'm not certain I'm pronouncing that correctly. Miriam Turinen and Luke Esparaza. And they're all basic weapons officers. Alright, well, since nothing else matters, let's just go with Aoi Lopez, just simply because I like the last name. So we're going to recruit her. And then if we go to crew gear, this is everybody, this is the entire crew. So if we go to, it's crew gear room, here you can customize your crew's gear. Different crew gear will have different properties such as resistance to damage, resistance to radiation, improved mobility, or less mobility depending upon what we equip them with. So we have Pop, or Tindra Pop, the captain, and the initial preset that they want us to give her is just basically everything that we just unlocked. And that we can do. The other preset we have is the engineering specialist, which some of the stuff isn't fully unlocked yet. So we're just going to equip that to everybody. But we are going to customize it slightly because I can change the color of certain things. Yeah, so I can actually cycle the colors. So just simply because it's default and because I feel like it, the captain shall stay in red. Flora is the comm officer, however, will be cycled to blue. Leon, the engineer, will switch to yellow. Jay Owira will cycle to... That's cyan or green. Doesn't matter, cyan. We'll call it cyan. Whereas, and then the gunners will be purple. Now, of course, if I had actually bought their equip... Yes, that's basically all the colors. If I had actually remembered to actually equip all the colors, they would be. Alright, so I'm changing the color of everybody's uniform so that way it's color-coded based off of the job. And I recognize that a lot of outside of the weapons officers, there's only one person per job, but it's so that way I can more easily tell who's who. Yeah, for instance, since everybody's wearing the exact same identical helmet, and I don't feel like reading the names, I can just simply see that the person wandering around has red highlights on their armor. That means that this person must be the captain. So now that training is technically over, I now have 2 jobs to complete. I can investigate Phasmid activity, where we investigate reports of Phasmid activity near the Kyber Belt. Kyber Belt Alpha. Should read that better. Clear out any hostile forces in the area. I get 1,500 coin and 500 research. Or I can transport supplies, where Phasmid activity has delayed the transportation of much-needed supplies to mining outpost. Safely transport the cargo pod to the crew's outpost besieged crew, and the outpost is known as the Destroyer. And apparently, I have actually 2 options for this quest. I can take what's known as the safe route, which just basically, if the map comes back, has me go to here and then to somewhere else, and then it's the Destroyer, whereas the fast route takes me to the asteroid belt and then the Destroyer. So it's basically 2 jumps compared to 3. Whereas Investigate Phasmid Activity only has 1 route and it's just 2 jumps. And then we have no bounties available because I guess that just isn't available yet. Now, When I played off camera for testing purposes, I actually completed both of these missions. And let's investigate Phasmid activity because that's the shorter of the two, if memory serves. And here's Lopez on the port gun. So now that training's over, we're not going to be handheld as much by Wing Commander Winters. And I say that just as he starts handholding us. So before starting this mission, let's quickly go over some equipment on your ship. Equipment is stored in equipment racks around the ship. You can customize your ship's equipment loadout between missions on Athena Station. There are 4 types of equipment: spacesuits, fire extinguishers, phase rifles, and medkits. As a training exercise, we started a controlled fire in the back of the ship for your crew to put out. So select your engineer, select a fire extinguisher, and extinguish fire. I do like you have the option just to go wherever you need to go. And then we just simply select stow to put the fire extinguisher back, because if we just drop it and just start flying around, it's basically an unguided missile flying above the ship. Occasionally, engines may become damaged. This will cause them to leak radiation in your ship, harming your crew. For your engine, you have to send a crew member out of the ship. Make sure they pick up a spacesuit before going out. Remark that an engine is damaged. Try repairing it now. I could think you just break things on the ship.
For training purposes.
Order your engineer to repair the damaged engine. For that, he has to go outside. So now we just wait for the engineer to repair the engine. Any crew member can repair, but an engineer will repair faster. Turn your engineer to their station by clicking directly on it. That is not clicking on it. And of course, he takes off the spacesuit. You'll need to use phase rifles if Phasmids board your ship. When your crew's in capacity, you can have another crew member use a medkit to revive them. That's the end of items training. Continue your mission. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the spacesuit and we're going to restow it. Because much like the fire extinguisher, we get into combat and it's basically a missile. Oh, we also have the ability to overdrive the reactor and self-destruct the ship. Because apparently that's an option now. Anywho. So off to the asteroid belt Alpha. Is it just like whatever jump point we need for the job, or is there just like random jump points just sitting out? I don't know if that's what these things are. That or Athena just has one jump gate and they can just reprogram it to wherever. I'm going to charge the engine and engage. And so we have asteroids to worry about. And apparently something decided to break, so we're going to have you fix that. And we have enemies incoming. And here they are. Alright, so we're going to go to the defensive, which should increase our evasiveness, and I saw more fighters over here. We're also going to have the security officer on the bow gun. Now that you're fixed, that's fixed, get back on the engineering. Cut power to the gravity and put it into shields. Now what? Oh, yeah, it's just... We lost forward shields. Got an achievement for something. I do like that shields practically instantly recharge. And we should tag these. Of course, we lost everything but the dorsal shield now, so that's fun. Those two are dead. Okay, drop shields and, well, less powder shields and turn back on the gravity. And fix this. Now that's Earth Athena. I want the other one. Kyber Belt Alpha. The shields are fully powered now. Let's cut gravity and put it into the engines. That way we have less chance of actually hitting these asteroids. Alright, so we charge the drive, and then we jump. And here we are at Kyber Belt Alpha, and we have an asteroid warning. Which is why we put power to the shield engines. Also increases our evasiveness, so if we actually look at... Well, we'll look at that later. We got targets. We're going to boost the drive and put it in engines. So they should have... There is a focus. They should have the ability to focus fire. I'm looking at the security officer. I really should tag all the targets available. Because they don't really shoot unless, well, you tag those first. Which I could have also just simply set it to defensive to increase their evasiveness even further. Also losing the bow shield. The captain apparently took some fire. More targets. I don't know why they weren't shooting at that one. Can't boost the reactor yet. That one's dead. I think all we got left is this guy, who is now dead. Okay, so now what we've got to do is return to base. But we're going to have Leon repair the power generator. And we're also going to have the captain, real quick, Alright, so we're actually going to have Leon turn back on the gravity first. I'm going to have the captain, because she got injured, sit in the medbay for a bit. And we're going to have Leon fix the shield generator, because much like Bomber Crew, things just like breaking down at random intervals. And since Flores also took a couple hits, we're going to have him heal up as well. So unlike Bomber Crew with their bed that just simply healed people, the med station on this ship apparently has finite reserves. So it can only heal people up to a point. Now that's the comm person. Going to have everybody heal because this recharges after between missions. I'm just going to have everybody heal first before we head back. Plus, if memory serves, every time we jump to a new location, there'll be more enemies. So, since it's quiet now, I'll have everybody heal, and then the next jump, I think there's going to be more Phasmids. Well, let's just tag the gate now. She's almost healed, and she's returning back to her station. But the ship took some knocks, although unlike Bomber Crew, where the holes cut clean through the ship, I don't think... There's some Phasmid technology debris near your position. Scan it so researchers can learn more about it. This is new. Interesting. Ready to scan. Who does the scanning? Oh. Comms officer does the scanning. This didn't happen last time I played this mission. And enemies are incoming, so the faster they scan this thing, the faster we can get back to trying to not die. Alright, it's scanned. Head back to Athena. And we got targets. Go defensive. Cut power to gravity and increase the engines. Save the reactor boost in case we need it. Because, you know, we do have some very big ships trying to shoot us. Here we have everything tagged. There's another one. Alright, we're basically out of the asteroid field, so we'll keep gravity off for now because we're in the middle of combat. We'll dump it into weapons. Hopefully the plasma cannons do more damage. And we got more targets inbound. Gravity generator requires repair. Well, it's off right now. We're using power for something else. Nice, I'm assuming that's everybody. So we'll put power back to the gravity generator and then we'll have Leon fix it. And more enemies are actually incoming. Alright, so it's going to take 51 seconds to charge the hyperdrive because the enemies got within range, so we're going to have to shoot them first. That's not the right one. So defensive. Oh, and they're... Yeah, I don't really know what they classify the various ships as. I know the small ones are fighters, so I guess these are like gunships or corvettes. Anyway, one of them's dead, so it doesn't matter. And now they're both dead. Alright. So can we get out of here now before more show up? Yeah, I don't think that this like blast right here is a hole through the ship. It's just, you know, they managed to char off the paint, and that's just the hull underneath, the metal hull underneath. But we engage, and we're gone. Tag the station, and let's go home. And here we go. Alright, so we defeated the Phasmid forces, and we get 1,500 coin and 500 more research. We also scanned Phasmid tech, get 750 more research. And the ship has returned. They act like we can complete the mission without the ship returning, which might actually be possible. I've never actually gotten that far. It does kind of make me worried, but oh well. And everybody but Lopez goes to 3 because Lopez is new, and well, she didn't go through training like everybody else did, so she's a level behind everybody else. I do kind of like it. I would kind of prefer it if everybody was at the same level, but I don't get to make those choices. But now that Flores is level 3, she can request fighter support. Might come in handy. Oh, and Lopez gets focused fire, much like the other two. And now that research, we've gotten high enough research, we get standard plating Mark 1, which is additional armor plating for the ship. And then plasma cannons Mark 2, which fires bursts of highly concentrated matter, effective against enemy shields, plus effective against ship hulls and armor, requires reactor power to operate. And it also gets us spacecraft, which means we can mess with the ship. So this is a spacecraft hangar, and here you can upgrade the equipment on your ship. You can also customize the appearance and name of your ship. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the name Unstoppable.
And we're going to give it a proper name. Name that the bards will sing of, that will strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. Yes, I'm going to use that name.
That's what I called the bomber. Outhouse it is. So we have armor. We currently have no armor on any part of the ship. And we can select... We can install extra armor for 750 coins, so that's 3,000 coin just to outfit the entire ship with armor. We also upgrade the, we can switch to the autocannon or upgrade to the plasma cannon Mark II for 1,425 apiece. That's 1850. That's 2,850 for both guns. I don't actually have access to upgraded autocannon yet, so. Now, I did see earlier that you have the option to switch guns once you have an extra gun installed, and I originally thought if you just simply purchased both for the same station, you'd swap between the two of them. But what I think it actually means is you could swap between the plasma cannon and autocannon if you have, say, this one. But we're not going to touch the weapons for now, or armor, because I should point out, there are 7 people. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 7 people manning this ship. And it's got 1 escape pod. So what we're going to do is just pop in more escape pods. So I'm going to assume we're going to have enough money to actually pop in more escape pods. Yep, we have enough money to pop in enough escape pods for everybody. So if we have to abandon ship, it's not going to be first person to the pod, which is probably going to be the back gunner if they're still alive. Gets to go home. Everybody gets to go home. As for equipment, we'll swap this one out for an extinguisher and spacesuit, just simply because it's closer to the starboard engine, so it mirrors this rack. As for this rack, we're going to give it a med kit and a fire extinguisher, just simply because it's the innermost compartment on the ship, so they probably need the spacesuit the least. Equipment rack 5, we'll swap out the spacesuit for a plasma rifle or phase rifle. Equipment rack 6. Equipment rack 7 we'll keep as a med kit and phase rifle. Equipment rack 6 we will put in. Here we have enough money for a phase rifle. So we'll pop in a phase rifle right here. And as for this back one here, last time I got boarded, by the time anybody managed to grab a phase rifle and get out here to fight them, they're already out into the main quarter. So I don't think I really need a phase rifle out here. But I don't have enough coin to actually fully stock it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swap it out for a spacesuit for right now. Oh, and we're also going to change the color scheme. So these are the various options. I actually kind of like this one in terms of paint scale. So let's customize the colors. Color number 1 will be blue. Color number 2 will be white. Although we'll just flag it for green and then change the saturation to white. And max out the brightness. And then color number 3 will be red. Yeah, I kind of like this pattern the best. Then as for the various livery, we'll just slap UDF on, well, pretty much every surface we can get. And for extra text, we'll just keep using the ship name. Although we'll make that white as well. Just so that way I can see it. Except for the main text because it's on a white strip, so we'll make that as close to blue as the actual hull armor possible, because it's on a white strip, so if we make it white, it'll just fade into the background. So this is the outhouse. You don't really call the Enterprise, Star Trek, it's not really the, well, they call it the Enterprise, but the ship isn't the Enterprise, it's just Enterprise. USS Enterprise, to be specific. Same with the Battlestar Galactica, it's just Galactica as opposed to Battlestar Galactica. So we'll just keep the name Outhouse for right now. So that's the ship. Don't have any coin to actually upgrade anything specific or important. Well, that's not really true. I mean, we did install enough escape pods to everybody get out and change the equipment around, So now we have 2 extra missions. So the clear Phasmid forces out is now a medium risk mission. That or it was originally a medium risk mission, I just wasn't paying attention. We can rescue an astronomer. An observation outpost located near Saturn's moon, Prometheus, has become under attack. All but one of the outpost crew have escaped. Professor Scott is the leader in her field. She must be rescued before the outpost is destroyed. Or I can just transport supplies, which is the mission that I did last time, so I know what's going on. I did not recall ever having to rescue an astronomer before, so I'm curious as to how this mission plays out. They got the same payload. Well, they have the same rewards, and it looks like I actually have option. It's a similar type of transport step where I have an option of 3 jumps or an option of 2 jumps. So let's go rescue somebody. Curious to see how this goes. I received classified information that the enemy champion Hupin Garat has been active in the mission area. Proceed with caution. Alright, so we also never fought a champion before, so this will definitely be interesting. Okay, so we have... Let me zoom out. Tag hyperspace point to pilot the waypoint. Pilot to the waypoint. So we have the safe route or the fastest route. Let's go with the safest route because something tells me it's going to be that kind of mission. So, I mean, it's just 1 extra jump. Which means 1 extra pile of fighters we have to deal with. So then we go to Asteroid Belt Beta, and we do have enemies incoming. Here we go. Targets are marked. For now. We got new contacts. Go defensive. Get power. You know what? Let's get power to the shields, just simply because. Well, I feel like that's a better bang for our buck right now. Given that half the weapons aren't going to be affected by... Somebody else is here. So half our weapons are autocannons, so they're not going to be affected by a power output. Because I don't think they're affected by power output. Forward shields are down. I think I decided if I'm going to call them forward shields or bow shields. Alright, 1 gunship is down. Said go defensive. Must have tagged the jump gate. When I was in tag mode, see if there are any new enemies. Alright, so they're dead, so we switch the gravity back on. I just realized the security officer was not on the forward gun. Oops. But we haven't really looked at the security station, and their main ability, I guess, is to quickly recharge the shields. They can also purge sections of the ship, so if I get boarded, or I have a fire, I guess, I can just simply open up various compartments and have all the air blow out. So if we just simply purge 1, the cargo bay's atmosphere will purge. So see, the door opens and all the air goes out. I'm assuming anybody in this area goes out with it. And then once the door closes, it resets. So you can also go 1 and 2, but that's the back gunner, and they don't have their own O2 supply, so we're not going to do that just yet. What we're going to do is go to the next objective. Security Chief is also slightly injured, as is the back gunner. Alright, well, we're still on the way, so we'll have them heal for now. Very much on the way. Interesting. I do like that there's directional lighting here, because that's actually technically still red as far as I know, but because sun side is over here, that side's actually darker. Alright, so everybody should now be fully healed. And so we charge. and then we jump. Alright, asteroid belt beta. Alright, so since we got asteroids, what I'm going to do is pop you in the bow gunner position, cut the gravity, which apparently broke anyway, and dump the extra power into engines. And because now we have targets. Alright, where's the jump point? There we are. So let's head in that general area. There's another grav generator required. Okay, we're under combat and it's not on. So we'll go defensive, which, from what I've heard and read, as the captain, try to put the best shield facing in front, between the ship and any enemies. Whereas attack puts the best guns towards it, I believe. Well, there are times, like when fighting the gunships, and they're just like along one side. I'm not entirely certain how effective that actually is, and I just realized the captain herself is in it. I don't know if that happened in the last battle or this one. But aft shields are down. Hostile life forms detected on the ship. So, no, not that. Attack the enemies. Alright. We got more enemies. Alright, you get on here and just purge one. Goodbye. Okay, so just target these because apparently we forgot to tag somebody. Stow that. We good for now? Okay, so fix the engine or power generator. Back on comms. Reinstart gravity, although the gravity generator is out, so going to have him fix that real quick. I'm going to tag the waypoint too. And now that gravity is restored, fix the shield recharger, because we don't have shields anymore. Alright, so replenish the shields. And now shields are fully charged. Once we clear the asteroid field, we'll have the captain heal. No, I was going to say pilot, not pirate. I'm guessing we hit some asteroids, because the dorsal and ventral shields took a hit. Have the radio operator pilot the ship, simply because we were moving forward at the time. Alright, now that the captain's sealed, they take back command, and looks like a couple people were injured, but Back gunner was especially so. Anybody else injured? Technically, a few injuries. We'll top off the health while it's quiet. I think just the security officer's injured, and then everybody else should be fine. And it looks like the engineer's also injured as well. Maybe I confused the two. I keep confusing Leon and Jaywara. The gravity generator is broken again. Alright, so we should be good. So charge the hyperdrive. And engage. Here we are, Prometheus. Suppressor Scout of Prometheus Outpost. I'm a surviving member of the crew requesting assistance. We are here to assist. We gotta land at the outpost. Thanks for rescuing the outpost about to self-destruct. I suggest we escape the sector quickly. Okay then. Off we go. Wondered where they were going to sit. Guess that means I can't purge the cargo bay. So the station will self-destruct in 27 seconds. I don't know if we're safe enough distance from here, or, you know, we're going to die because charge for jump. And let's get out of here. Just in case that massive explosion was going to take out everything. So now we have asteroids and enemies incoming. So we cut the gravity and pop it in. Phasmid technology breeze near position, scan it so researchers can learn more about it. Sure, why not? And we have to keep the passenger alive. And we have hostile contacts. You get on the bow gun. I actually forgot to have him do that. I should have had him do that before I cut gravity. But oh well. And we have more targets. Hostile life forms detected. Alright, on that note, cut the engine and get gravity. Prepare to defend the ship. Attack enemies. Stow that and get back on comms. Alright, so actually we're sitting duck right here, so we're going to go defensive. Back on comms. Is there anybody we haven't targeted yet? We do have untagged contacts. Several untagged contacts. Alright, it's going to have the gunners focus their fire. And we're also going to call for fighter support. Alpha 7 weapons on. A1 ready for action. Get back on defense. And then Gamma 1 ready for action. Everybody dead? Okay, I'm assuming everybody's dead for now, so now we can scan the thing. Also, fix the reactor. Looks like we almost ran out of power. We almost lost the power point. Alright, so we scanned the tech. More enemies are incoming. So let's head back to Mars. We got targets. And the fighters are now disengaging. Darn. I was hoping they'd stay until we leave the set. Of course, they apparently need to refuel, so I guess that makes sense. Meantime, cut the gravity and put it into weapons, and go defensive. We lost the bow and dorsal shielding, and we still have targets out there. We'll have them focus their fire again. Taking fire from before, like a pair of gunships. Another fighter we didn't see. Can we call for more fighter support? No, we cannot. Okay, so since this seems to be a hotbed for enemy activity, let's get out of here. Charge the drive and let's go. And we're gone. And now we're at Mars, so I believe one more jump and then it's home. Enemies are now incoming. So, real quick, tag these guys. Cut grav again and get back on and go defensive. More targets. And looks like we're going to have boarders again. Yep, they're boarding. Get gravity back on and prepare to defend the ship. We stow that. Back to fighting. Get on comms. Right, he can't call for fighters, so back on the primary gun. Alright, so can we attack the enemies now? Fix the O2. Before you know, everybody dies. Why are you on fire? Oh, there is a fire on board. Okay. Where? Or not. Alright, and we have gravity again, so... Just restore that. Restore that. Fix that. Get back on the scanner so we can see if anybody's coming. Of course, you're the gunner, so... Okay, where's Flora? Where's the comms guy person? Flora's was, I guess, on fire, and I forgot about her. So we'll have her heal. In the meantime, tag the point to Athena Station. And get back to the comms because I just realized I have no one watching out to see where anything is. And it looks like we're actually out of healing supplies, so... On the plus side, the passenger's still alive. And engage. And we're back home. Oh, this was definitely an exciting trip. And we're good. If shot in every particular place. So astronomer rescued, 2,000 coin, 1,000 research. We got the Phasmid tech scan, which gets us an additional 750 research. And the outhouse has returned largely safely. Alright, so everybody is now at 4 except Lopez, who got 3. And Captain Pop has gained evasive piloting, whereas Security Officer Jay O'Weara has gained the option for a stealth mode. So it performs evasive maneuvers to reduce the chance of getting hit. I'm guessing it's a more enhanced version of defense of piloting, probably more, well, it's probably a temporary buff. So renders ship invisible to enemy fighters. Weapons officers will not fire. We get radiation suit. The suit provides some protection for radiation, but not against much else. Oxygen mask, Mark 1. This oxygen mask contains extra large personal oxygen supply. So I guess if it comes down to it and the ship loses oxygen, they can survive for a small period of time. In an engineering tool, this advanced engineering tool greatly improves the efficiency of repairing ship systems. And slightly improved as well as the Mark II shield generator. Slightly improved shield recharger, it creates fairly basic shielding and recharges slowly. Alright, so Dr. Joe Scott safely recovered from Saturn Prometheus outpost. It's experienced research professor, Joe Scott. So we have new crew gear. So we go to custom loadout. Okay, so it's the helmet or the oxygen mask. I was hoping you could have both. I'm sure there's one out there where it's like a battle helmet that has an O2 supply. So what else is there? Oh, the rad suit. Alright, so we have the engineering tool, so let's equip the engineer with that. My initial plan, once I get access to it, because the phase pistol also contains a phase pistol, which can be used in self-defense against enemies aboard the ship. Equip everybody else with phase pistols, because everybody else is generally not going to fix the ship unless Leon here dies. But the engineering tool is advanced engineering tool. I already just read that once it got unlocked. So we look at spacecraft. So hoping I'd have more credits to keep upgrading the systems. But I can upgrade to the Shield Mark II system. I actually can afford that. Interesting. So the basic model is a standard shield recharger, creates a basic shielding and recharges fairly slowly. Whereas the Mark II shield generator, slightly improved shield recharger, creates fairly basic shielding and recharges slowly. So it's actually faster than the Mark I, and I thought the shields actually recharged relatively fast. I mean, it doesn't look like it gets me more shielding, or does it? I don't know which one this is. I get high capacity and a fast recharge. So I'm assuming the basic one just increases. So maybe that is shield recharge. So the fast charge shields, I'm assuming, charge faster at a cost of actual speed, actual shield power, whereas high capacity is the opposite. So it gets you more shielding, but it takes longer to charge. I have better gravity generators. Well, we would, but they're still locked. I have also a balanced and efficient and armored reactor. The med bay. But all of that we don't have enough research for. You know, now that I have spare coin, let's actually put in a second spacesuit in here. Just so that way, in case I have to go EVA a little extra bit. Because again, boarding people come in through the cargo bay, hit the escape pod bay, and then the hallway. And if you saw last mission, by the time I got somebody to grab a phase rifle and attack the boarders, they're already in the hallway. So I see little sense in putting a phase rifle here, although I guess Dr. Scott could have grabbed one and helped out and defended herself, but she looked like to me she was more focused on running away, which she's a doctor, that's perfectly fine. She's not a combat person. Plus she was mission critical to survive, so there's that. So now we have even more jobs. We have transport supplies, which was the mission we looked at earlier. Investigate Phasmid activity, which we technically already did. The new one is escort transport, where situation is desperate at our Europa outpost. Supply transports are not getting through. Escort the next transport and ensure it reaches them safely. They're counting on you. Mission risk is medium, whereas the other two were light. We have clear enemy forces. We detected what could be a cluster of invaders near Uranus.
That is not a joke. Don't say anything.
Sector must be cleared out. This is no laughing matter.
See? Exactly. Even Wing Commander Winters knows what's going on.
And then we have a high-risk mission of recover the comms probe. Some time ago, we lost contact with the probe on the edge of the solar system. Expected has gathered crucial data. Go and recover its data bank. However, it is a high-risk mission, so something tells me that's going to be definitely a mission we are not going to want to take the outhouse on until we fully upgrade the thing. So yeah, there's that. And the one bounty we have for Hupin Garrett is his threat level is very high, and Hupin Garrett pilots a modified Phasmid light fighter, has a stronger shield, and appears to have improved mobility and evasiveness compared to the standard light fighter. Evidence from previous encounters indicates that Hupin Garrett may exhibit arrogant behavioral traits. His threat level is very high, but if we can off him, we get 4,000 coin and 1,000 research, which is actually better pay than any job I currently have. But as for the next mission, that is another issue for another time, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.